I got that a lot growing up on the north side, going to a predominantly white Catholic school, one of very few brown-skinned children in the school. And when they found out I was Mexican, that encouraged a lot of teasing, and so I got names like Dirty Mexican and Wetback. But then when we'd visit my family, my mother's family, who were growing up on the south side in mostly Mexican neighborhoods, they would tease me because I wasn't a real Mexican. I guess because I was growing up on the north side and I didn't eat chile, and then my Spanish was actually very poor. But my parents didn't speak Spanish to me really growing up. I understood it, but they didn't really speak it to me. My mother didn't cook a lot of Mexican food, and we didn't watch Spanish language television. But I still felt as Mexican as the rest of my family. You know, every year for the first 16 years of my life, we drove from Chicago to Guanajuato and spent a month every summer. And my father, when he was home, he'd listen to his Mexican music on the record player, and he'd get any Mexican paper that he could get his hands on, he would read. He was a fiercely proud Mexicano. He got to this country on the Progresando program. He worked in the fields in California in the 1940s. He made his way north in the late 50s to Chicago with a dream of becoming an empresario, a music promoter. There was a growing Mexican population here, and he recognized that they were missing the music of their hometowns. And more importantly, that they would pay money to see their favorite bands perform live. So he worked factory jobs, day shift, night shift, and he would, whenever he could, he would come home, transform into this suit and tie and hat, and head out to the nightlife world of entertainment, looking for that opportunity. He found it, and next thing you know, he's bringing bands from Mexico into Chicago. But then he got tired of having to pay rental fees, so he thought, you know what, I want to own my own place, be my own boss. So he worked even harder, and in 1975, he bought the Aragon Ballroom. He was so proud. Here's this Mexican immigrant, farm worker, 6th grade education, no leadership training, no mentor, and frankly, he had a very heavy accent even till the day he died. And he was making it in a world that was dominated by people who didn't look anything like him, and frankly, they resented the fact that he was in their space. And he wanted to make sure that anybody who walked into the Aragon knew who the new owner, where they were from. So he had this huge, colorful Aztec calendar painted right at the top of the stairs. So there was no doubting who the new owner was. He sold the Aragon in 2000, having accomplished his goal and made his dream come true. And he spent the rest of his life traveling the world. My mother was born here. Not really a dreamer, not into the nightlife, but a hard worker nonetheless. She was a secretary all of her life, 2-year high school education. She worked for the same company downtown the whole time. She never spoke with an accent. She was very proud of her Mexican heritage, but she assimilated a lot easier than my father ever did, or probably would. It was just easier for her given the times and the fact that she was in a work and an office environment downtown. So I felt like, again, like I had a very strong Mexican identity growing up, but clearly it was with 2 very different perspectives on life. I got that. I was just at a conference in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago. It was Black and Latino journalists. And honestly, I got that as much from my Latino brothers and sisters as I got from African Americans that I was meeting. It just seems like there's a little bit of a curiosity about me, you know, what I am, where I come from. And that's really followed me a lot of my professional life. I think because my career path has been one of firsts, where I'm the only one who looks like me doing a particular job that I've taken. Without hesitation, without fear. I worked with people who had little or no experience working with Latinos, let alone Mexicans. So I took it as an opportunity to showcase my community, let people know what a value we are to any work environment, on any team. And the fact that I did my job better than anybody, well, that was icing on the cake for me. Oh my goodness, I just lost my place. Okay, that was icing on the cake for me. And today, I do what I do. I'm the only one who looks like me, having the role that I have for a television station in Chicago, English language. And actually, my role in companies across the city, very few, if any, people look like me, Latina, Mexicana. And that's a great source of pride for me. But with that comes a lot of responsibility, because I feel like I'm always representing my community with every interaction that I have. One of the things that I love about my job is that I'm able to serve my community but I'm also able to represent it, having an impact on communities across the city, you know, with the respect and the support and the friendship of people who are very different from me. I know that my upbringing and my cultural identity have formed the person that I am today, but I also, because I appreciate the commonalities in people, that has helped me bridge connections to people of all different kinds. And I think that's very important. I think that that has helped me create bridges of connection very easy to all different kinds of people. Oh no. I am a product of experiences and influences that might be very different from some of my Mexican sisters. My loves, my relationships, my friendships have all been very diverse, multicultural, with people of different races and ethnicities. Now, my playlist, I have Alejandro Fernandez and Lila Downs, but I like hanging out at the old school picnic in Jackson Park every summer. And I have been known to drive out to Summerfest in Milwaukee to catch Aerosmith. I know, I have very eclectic tastes. In a work environment, I'm as comfortable sitting in a room of African American or Asian American leaders as I am sitting at the table with Italian American business people as part of this Milan Sister Cities Committee that I was just asked to join. And I always feel like I belong and like I'm a part of that group. And two more things. I would never have gone to college had it not been for the encouragement of an individual who was my first boss, my first mentor, and it was an African American gentleman. My family was never going to encourage me to go to college. That just was not their priority. But he encouraged me. And in fact, when I graduated from high school, I just wanted to work and help support my family. My mother and father had split up by then, so I felt like I needed to do that. They were fine with me not going to college, and I was fine not going to college. But my boss kept insisting, and he showed me the way to get it done. And so I was the first one in my family to graduate with a college degree. And I'm so happy that my sister did the same. And the second thing, it was a day in 1992. I was going to my first community meeting. I had just started with this cable company, and it was at El Valor in Pilsen. And I hadn't been in that neighborhood for quite a while, I'll be honest. And I come into this room, and it's all Mexican community leaders. And at the end of the meeting, I remember this feeling like I had come home. I had reclaimed my roots somehow. Because any job that I'd had before that, I was always with people who, you know, didn't share my cultural identity, didn't share my heritage or, you know, my experiences. And so that was awesome. And then as I did the job more, I realized, oh my God, I found my calling for community affairs. It was so exciting. And frankly, shortly thereafter, I stopped introducing myself as Diana and started saying Diana. Now, I admit my Spanish is still not great. I couldn't tell you the most popular telenovelas on TV, but I am eating slightly spicier foods these days. But I don't know if any of that really defines Mexicana in 2016. What am I? I'm a leader in my field. I'm a mentor of young women of all different backgrounds. I believe that we should all try to see as much of the world as we possibly can and know that we each have a place in it. And I know that while I might not fit your idea of what Mexican looks like, in my heart, in my mind, I am first and always Mexicana and proud.